For this next part I'm going to show you how to make one of these. This is what powers the blade and makes it shoot out. So what you need to make it is a piece of ice pole stick. So this one is, let me see, it's 5 centimeters long that way, and that's just an ice pole stick, so 5 centimeters. And then we're going to make these little bits there, which, well, first off you need to cut out a shape in it that looks something I'm using a terrible pen, but you need to cut out a shape, something like that. I'll cut it out and show you what it looks like. Okay, now that I've cut this piece out, so there, now I'm going to make a, let me just see, I'll rule this bit. This piece here is 1 centimeter. So now I need to mark 1 centimeter from that bit there, which is down, just a quick mark in it. So you mark 1 centimeter from the, mark 1 centimeter from like that line there, and then you cut that out there, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, now that you cut this little piece out, that's what it should look like. That doesn't have to be too big. That little piece there is like only 3 mil. It just needs to be enough so I can fit into that like that. So you didn't really have to make it 5. I sort of messed it up a bit. So cut another one out with a 5 centimeter piece. So mark a line there, and this is 5 centimeters too. So make another 5 centimeter piece, and then I'll show you. Okay, once you have that bit cut out, you need to mark just a hole about not too far from the top, like that, and then take a drill with a smallish drill piece, or whatever you can do to put a hole in it. Okay, see, I've cut out the hole now. That means that this little piece can fit in there to make an L shape, like that. So once you get that, you take super glue and you glue it in there. Do it on all edges because this needs to be pretty strong, because this does most of the work on this. Mine's a little bit wobbly. You make support for it after, but once you have it so it's glued in, I'll leave that to dry. You take one of these pieces and mark, or just take a piece of ice pole stick, and mark 1 centimeter down and cut it, but make sure it doesn't split. This one did a bit, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then glue it like that. So it'll be twice as strong now. So let me just put some glue on it. Make sure yours doesn't split like that. And we'll either file it down to shape afterwards. You just need to have this basic thing, and put a bit of glue on it just to make sure it's strong. Bit on the top too. Alright, wait for that to dry. I had a better way of gluing that second piece on is just get a piece and make sure it's straight and glue that on like that. Then once it's dried, you take scissors or whatever you're using and cut it off, and that way it won't crack when you do it. So then you have a nice piece like that. And then next we're going to have to make that little hook in the end. So all you need to do is take these pins. You should find it in most selling kits, so, or you can use whatever you can find to make these. So what you need to do is put a small mark on there with the pin, and then put this in a vise or whatever you have. So I'm just going to put it in this there, like that, and put a hole in it and push this in. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I just hammered that in. You want it to go in about that far, and without it coming out the end. Oh well, you don't want it breaking out like that one did, but it doesn't really matter. It's just easier if it doesn't do that. And then you take glue again and you put some glue on the top and around the side, because it will crack a little bit. Not a problem though. So once you wait for that to dry, you put a curve in it. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, now that this is dried, you take some small pliers and grab hold of the top of it, and you just lightly bend it like that. You could probably even take the pin out, then bend it and put it back in again. Yeah, you just bend it in like that. Pull this bit back. Yeah, that'd probably do, just like that. You just need to make sure it's not over that edge. It's like you can put something on there and it's not like that, because a rubber band will be attached to these two, so we have tension on them. Okay. So you see that I've cut those two bits out. Now you need to get a file and file it out so your little lock things can fit into them. Like this one jams a bit, but you need to make sure they can fit in really easily, like that. Okay, I've filed those little bits down now, and you can see that they go in really easy, like that. And these will have a rubber band attached to them both, and there'll be a little, I don't know what it's called, on like a little piece on the blade, and these will catch on the blade, pull it back and flick the blade forward. So that's what all the locks are for, and that's what they're for. So I'll explain it a little bit more. This still needs to be filed down a bit, but yeah, I'll go on to the next bit. Okay, this little piece here, you'll need to file, grind, or somehow get it down to size with it still being flat. So when you put it on here, it's just resting on the top of the blade, not quite touching it, like this one is a bit, but you want it so you can still move it and it's flat on the top. Where if I put this one on here that hasn't been cut down, you see how it's lifted off? You're going to need it so it's just really flat on there, like that. So cut them both down so they're like that, but don't have them so they're too high up, or else you won't be able to catch the blade, but have it so it's just resting on top.